The subject of coronavirus has finally arrived on the cobbled streets of Weatherfield, with residents of Coronation Street making the soap's first reference to the pandemic.
She could be seriously ill.
It's the first day of the trial. You really think that's a coincidence?
She might have got that coronavirus. She's probably bumped into somebody in prison. A guard or a visitor or something.
Poor Yasmin.
Poor nothing.
And that was it. But it's so significant. During last night's programme, the character Yasmin Nazir was suspected of having contracted Covid-19. Others also mentioned the virus. The episode was the first to be filmed entirely with social distancing measures in place.
14 minutes past 6. You're up to date with all the main stories this morning. Should we have a look at the front pages of the newspapers, see what's making the headlines on the papers this morning? The 3 teenagers convicted of the manslaughter of PC Andrew Harper, who died after being dragged along a road by a car, feature on several of the front pages today. Speaking outside court, PC Harper's wife, Lissy, said that she was utterly shocked and appalled by the verdicts after the 3 were cleared of his murder.
Yeah, we'll have more on that a little bit later on in the programme. The Times, meanwhile, splashes with claims from a new book about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The paper says the book reveals the mistrust and infighting behind Prince Harry and Meghan's decision to step back as senior royals and relocate to the US. It should be said there's nothing spectacularly new in this story. It's all stuff we already knew, but it's kind of further evidence, really, of how deep-rooted the bad feeling was there.
The Guardian reports on the BBC interview that we've just played you a clip of, which Laura Koonsberg did yesterday with Boris Johnson. It was broadcast from 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The Prime Minister admitting that the government could have done things differently over Covid-19 and conceding that the government didn't understand the virus in the first few weeks and months.
And the Eye Weekend has got a poll suggesting 80% of people who've been able to work from home during the pandemic want to carry on doing so. This is as the government prepares to change advice for employers on bringing staff back to workplaces from the 1st of August.
And gyms and swimming pools in England reopen today with strict hygiene and social distancing measures in place. But there are concerns that some leisure facilities will remain permanently closed.
The trade body representing the leisure industry has warned that financial pressures mean a third of facilities will not reopen this week. Gyms and pools remain closed in Scotland and Wales, but have reopened in Northern Ireland.
Being overweight puts you at greater risk of serious illness or death from coronavirus. That's according to a new report from Public Health England. It found that being severely obese increased the likelihood of dying by 40%. The government's expected to announce new measures to curb obesity next week, including restrictions on advertising junk food.
People who want to go on holiday abroad are being warned not to book unless they have an up-to-date passport. A backlog of more than 400,000 UK passport applications has built up because of disruption caused by the coronavirus. Officials say they'll prioritise emergency cases and those who need to travel in the next 2 weeks. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have distanced themselves from a book which claims to give a detailed account of a breakdown in their relations with other members of the royal family. The book, Finding Freedom, being serialised by The Times, suggests Harry and Meghan had felt their complaints were not being taken seriously. A spokesman for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex said they hadn't been interviewed or contributed to the book.